Breaking news coming into CNN. The Israeli military says Iranian forces on the Syrian side of the Golan Heights fired rockets at Israeli targets tonight. Let's go to our Pentagon correspondent, Barbara Starr. Barbara, what are you hearing?
Good evening, Wolf. This happened a short time ago. Israeli Defense Forces confirming that they logged 20 missiles from Iranian Quds forces fired into northern Israel in the Golan Heights. Go back a minute. Iranian Quds forces. That is critical here to what is happening. These are forces of the Iranian regime. They are the most militant forces of the Revolutionary Guard of Iran, which already is the most, shall we say, militant element of the Iranian forces. So you have a good deal of concern emerging here. 20 of their rockets fired into northern Israel. The Israeli defense system known as Iron Dome firing back. Israelis tonight warning they may take further action against Iran. Wolf?
All right, stand by, Barbara. Oren Lieberman is in Jerusalem for us. What are you hearing from the Israelis, Oren?
Wolf, I just got off the conference call with IDF spokesperson, Lieutenant Colonel Jonathan Freeze. As Barbara just mentioned, more than 20 rockets fired, and I will tell you that there are still explosions we hear in the distance. Whether that's more Iron Dome interceptions or rockets hitting the ground, we have yet to find out, but there is still explosions that we're hearing in the distance, at least a half dozen or so in the last few minutes. On top of that, we've heard drones flying all night, long before we got the heads up from the IDF that rockets have been fired at the Golan Heights. We've been hearing these drones, perhaps surveillance drones, flying over the area. Let me reiterate, about an hour ago, the Israeli military said 20 rockets were fired at Israeli military sites in Golan Heights. Iron Dome had accepted a number of those. So far, the IDF, the Israeli military, says damage is limited and there have been no casualties. But that continues at this point, and that is obvious again, because we're these explosions in distance. So whatever attack was coming seems to be ongoing at this point. In terms of an Israeli military response, the IDF says they have responded but have not been more specific about the form of that response, number of strikes in that response, or the targets in that response. That information, they say, will be coming at some point this evening. But so far, as Barbara mentioned, and as we're hearing right now, more than 20 rockets have been fired from the Quds Force, the militant section of the Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps, at Israel. A number of those rockets have been intercepted, and as we're hearing in the distance, we continue to hear these explosions every few minutes or so, perhaps Iron Dome interceptions of more rockets or rockets themselves landing in the Golan Heights. We'll get that information to you as soon as possible, but whatever had started here about an hour ago continues at this point. Wolf, we'll get you more information as soon as we can.
You know, very quickly, Oren, I know I'm now told you're on the Golan Heights yourself. Usually when Israel detects rockets coming in from across the border, sirens are going off, warning people to go into shelters. Has that happened based on what you've seen?
There have been warnings that rockets have come over. It's very common for Israelis to have a red alert app that gives them a heads up that rockets are going off or the fires are going off. We have gotten that alert. We spoke with the Israeli military. They said they have not issued instructions to head to bomb shelters, but we know yesterday the Israeli military in the Golan Heights and in northern Israel was on high alert and bomb shelters were opened. In that sense, this is a response from the Iranians that Israel very much expected. There was also a reported strike near Damascus that Syria has attributed to the Israeli Air Force. So the retaliation comes not only for that recent strike, but also for other recent strikes in Syria that Iran and Syria have blamed on Israel. But your last question, there has not yet, as far as we know, been instructions to head to bomb shelters at this point. The Israeli military says that the damage is limited right now. There have been no casualties, but as I said, we continue to hear drones flying. We hear explosions every few minutes. The attack may very well still be ongoing. The Israeli military will still have a continued response.
You know, Barbara, yesterday you reported that Pentagon officials were deeply concerned that as a result of the president's decision to withdraw from the Iran nuclear deal, the Iranians could strike out against Israel. What else are you hearing about that?
Well, Wolf, you and I were talking about that just 24 hours ago, and we are 24 hours past President Trump opting out, if you will, of the Iranian agreement. Not a surprise to U.S. military intelligence that this has occurred. They have been watching this entire situation really around the clock for the last several days as there has been escalating rhetoric between Israel and Iran. Hard to see this tonight as anything else than an episode of open conflict between the Israelis and the Iranian regime. The Israelis, in fact, the IDF, as part of their statement, I want to read it to you, said a short time ago, the IDF views this event with great severity and remains prepared for a wide variety of scenarios. This is the Iranians directly attacking Israeli territory. Expect to see an Israeli response. And in fact, earlier today, a U.S. defense official confirmed to me that last night airstrikes inside Syria that no one had claimed credit for were actually believed to be the work of Israeli forces as they once again went after Iranian weapons sites inside Syria. We have seen these Israeli strikes inside Syria. The Israelis are not publicly admitting them, but it is well understood that these airstrikes are being conducted by Israel to try and take out these Iranian weapons sites so they cannot attack inside Israel. I think you better than anybody, Wolf, would know that the Israelis are not going to sit back after tonight's events. We should expect by every measure to see additional Israeli military action against the Iranians. And in the middle of all of this, the U.S. military extremely concerned about the escalation of a potential emerging conflict tonight, Wolf.
Yeah, it's a deeply concerning development. And Oren Lieberman, if you're still there with me, I know you're up on the Golan Heights. You know the Israelis are going to respond, and they're going to respond very severely to these Iranian rocket attacks. What else are you hearing?
You're exactly right there, Wolf. The Israelis will absolutely respond. And whether they would make the strikes or not, Syria and Iran have taken